Oh, hey.
Hey, what's up, dude? Hey guys, I just wanted to address the rumors. I just wanted to head-on address the rumors and the controversy that's been swirling. We're taking myself pretty seriously there. I just wanted to address all the smears and defamation that's been coming my way. Okay, get a shot of my face looking really serious for the thumbnail. Just want to make it very clear. I do not have a secret deal with Casa D'Angelo's.
Whether or not they're paying me is nobody's business but my own.
And irregardless of all that, let me try.
That is the best pasta.
I'm gonna go ahead and say in the world.
This is not the United States of Patrick Bet David.
Yes.
This is the United States of America.
Would you take money from a capitalist to help you go see specialist?
I mean, yeah, sure, why not?
But would you also be open to seeing somebody else I choose as a psychologist that may...
No.
You're not?
No.
When you're offering people Paul Bet Davidson.
Oh my God, thank God, and
Praise God.
And praise God for this. I heard about this. I heard that this was gonna happen. I think I heard PBD talking about this. He was like, bup, Jubilee. Oh man, that's gonna be funny content. Yeah, this did not disappoint. This was one of the funniest. This is one of the funniest, I think, uploads.
Back. I'm Patrick Bet David. I'm an entrepreneur and founder of PBD Podcast. Today, I'm surrounded by 20 anti-capitalists.
Okay.
My first claim is incentive is the engine of capitalism. Remove it and the system fails.
Okay, I don't know if I totally understand the thing. Okay. Whoa, it's already starting. Okay. Oh, great, man. Fascinating stuff here. You know, they're talking about some interesting stuff here. You know, economics, economic systems, all this crap, all this stupid crap.
All this stupid junk.
You know, it's kind of interesting. It's like, oh, we're all human beings living in a society. How do we do that, you know? So these are interesting topics. But Jubilee is not really in the business of interesting topics and meaningfully covering those topics. Jubilee is in the business of... So, you know, this thing kind of like goes right off, instantly goes off the rails. Let's really read this. What are we talking about here? Incentive is the engine of capitalism. Remove it and the system fails. I can barely... Okay. So I guess what we are meaning here, what we are meaning to be saying here is like, okay, if the profit motive isn't there, then if you take that away, the profit motive, the whole goddamn thing falls apart. Everything falls apart, I guess, right? Is that what this is supposed to say? Okay. All right. Okay, we got some manner of an argument. Oh. Ooh, okay, let's check it out.
That's a situation of inelastic demand.
No, it's
when
not.
The amount that you're willing to pay is not based on the value of the service, because your life does not have a finite value. In the US, 66.5% of all bankruptcies are because of medical debt. In most other developed nations, that number is way lower, if not zero. And at the same time, the US does not have one of the best healthcare systems in the world.
That tells you the government doesn't know how to spend our money.
No,
they keep
in
raising
our case,
taxes,
we're
we keep
spending
more money, and they don't know how to spend the money.
No, most of that money is coming from private insurance. In fact, 77% of the people who went bankrupt from medical debt had...
Okay, I love PBD.
Paul Bet Davidson?
I love Paul Bet Davidson. I do think he's like legit funny. But this is like the first 10 minutes of this stupid Jubilee thing. And it's already like, okay, what the hell is this? What the hell am I watching? What's the point of this? Because I guess the Jubilee, what do they call them? Like the Jubilee main guy? The Jubilee guest. But this is like literally the first 10 minutes of this thing. And PBD's already like completely lost, because they get to present these like, oh, this is what I think. This is what I think about this. And it's like, oh, if you take the profit motive away in an economic system, the whole goddamn thing falls apart. Then this guy comes up and he gives this obvious example that everybody all the time gives. What about the healthcare thing? We have like a totally profit-driven healthcare system. Doesn't really work very good. And Paul Bet Davidson is like, well, the government sucks. Okay. All right. I think that's what I would have done if I were the other guy on the other side. Okay. Should I just go? Because that's that one kind of over. Hey, if you take the profit motive away from a thing, the thing gets ruined. Okay, yeah, it's the opposite with the healthcare system. And we have like endless information. I mean, out in the open, endless information on that. Yeah, so this is the first 10 minutes of this. And it's already like, okay, I think I might be... a normal person, a normal Jubilee viewer like myself, at this point, we should be like, oh, this is a waste of time what I'm watching here. It's a dumb waste of time. I'm one of 362,000 people who watch. I'm wasting my time just like they are. But it gets crazier and crazier. I mean, this is a beautiful Jubilee right here.
No,
Let
most
guy
of that
talk.
money is coming from private insurance. In fact, 77% of the people who went bankrupt from medical debt had insurance and then lost it because they couldn't pay.
So we can address that, the fact that 60-something% of bankruptcies are due to health, which is, you're right. We've done many content on that piece. I want you to come back to incentive. Address the issue with incentive right now, with capitalism.
The reason why the medical debt is so high is because of the profit motive. If people will pay whatever it takes to not die, the profit motive in that case is perverse, because healthcare shouldn't be a market in the same way that other things might be a market.
So you don't think the motive to have profit, to come out with a solution, is a good thing for the marketplace, specifically in the healthcare side?
Okay, there is one thing that I actually do like about PBD. Like, legit. This is not doing a joke or anything. I like this about all sales guys, is that if you do sales stuff, crap, over the phone long enough, you do kind of get, like, skilled at kind of sounding like you know what you're talking about. It's a good skill, you know, just being convincing, you know? And PBD does have this throughout this thing. You know, if you didn't care about this stuff at all, you were like zero interested, you'd be like, that guy seems to know what he's talking about. But if you actually look at the like substance of this thing, PBD sets up a thing where he's like, look, if you take away the quote unquote profit motive from a thing, the thing falls apart. Okay, here's an example where the opposite happens. The other guy says, and the PBD's like, okay, go back to the thing I was talking about. He's like, that is what we're talking about. I just gave you an example of what you're talking about. PBD's like, let's focus on what I'm talking about here. If PBD wasn't such a convincing sales guy, I think most people would be like, okay, now I'm 10 minutes, 50 seconds in. I think I get what I'm watching here. There's not much to this.
We have a market-based system for healthcare.
A very basic question for you.
Most of that is because
a very basic
of
question
non-market systems.
Basic question for you. If that's the case, it keeps going back to the same thing. If it's better in other places than it is here, why are Americans and others not going there? Why are people coming here?
Okay, PBD has got to stop banging on the table. I listened to all hour and 43... Sorry, let me restate that. I 2x'd all 1 hour, 43 minutes of this. PBD is just like on that table like... Boom, 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 boom. PBD is on that table like... The mic is right there, man. Sounds like there's an earthquake in the Jubilee studio. Yeah, all right. That's a side note. Sorry. Okay, so yeah, PBD's rumbling on that table. He's grumbling and rumbling all over that table. Boom, 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 boom. Nobody's monitoring the sound at the Jubilee studio. Okay, enough with that. But, you know, this is a fun one. I think a lot of people don't get the PBD vibe. You know, he's just having a good time. Whatever, man. He's doing some kind of crap. He's doing some kind of sales thing here. But I like this from PBD. This one made me laugh, where it's like, okay, here's an idea. You take this profit motive thing away, everything falls apart. Okay, what would we call this? The argument or whatever? It's already kind of all over the place, but okay. I mean, we have like, this is not even like really a debate anymore. You know, you have all these stories. You go read all these stories. They're all out there. Oh, United Healthcare or whatever. They use AI to deny, Meemaw and Peepaws who are sick to like deny their healthcare claims. I need medicine. It says you don't. Who says I don't? Oh, it's a robot. Sorry, man. The robot said. Can I talk to that robot? Nah, it doesn't do that. So, you have this example of the falling apart, kind of go in the opposite direction of what PBD's saying here. So, PBD doesn't maybe realize he already kind of lost this one. So he makes a little pivot here. And again, this is sales. This is sales mastery. He goes, well, if what you're saying is true, which I'm not arguing, and maybe not so much arguing whether or not it is, why do people love America so much? Why is America #1 the best? Try to answer that one. A lot of the time with these people who Patrick Bet David is debating, I guess you could call it, a lot of the time they're like, but I don't get what you're saying. What are you trying to say, PBD? And this is a what are you trying to say moment. It's like, what does that mean? Do a lot of people come here? Yeah, that's true. From where? What do you mean? I mean, there are American medical students who live in Cuba, and a lot of people who were born in America who can't really afford healthcare what, are they going to fly to Finland or something? You know, question doesn't totally make a whole lot of sense, but still, that's what I like about PBD is it's like, he does sound convincing, you know? He's got the sales thing down. It's just what he's saying doesn't make sense, I would say. That's fine.
The incentive is intrinsic, meaning passion, interest, and honing your skills.
Whether you get paid or not.
Well, the problem is that we're forcing people to, need to, work to survive.
So what's the alternative? So give me another solution, another economical system.
Talking?
Yeah, actually, I'm curious.
Hey, so yeah, the psychological theory of self-determination is widely accepted in psychology. It basically explains that intrinsic motivation and passion is actually what predicts incentive. You're arguing that incentive is integral to profit-driven motivation.
Okay, yet this girl's really smart right here. This kind of a, whatever you think about this is an interesting idea. No matter what, that PBD can't wrap his head around this one, He's talking about incentive. He's like, look, I guess we're kind of like figuring out the question as we go. We're figuring out Patrick Bet-David's statement. Without the profit motive, everything's going to fall apart, I guess it is. And this girl's like, well, there's a lot of different incentives. Some people are actually really like passionate about a thing and they want to figure out that thing. That's a motive. That's an incentive. What about that one? And PBD's like, well, yeah, right. Okay, so far, this is what we got from PBD. He's like, look, here's my idea here. Good luck defeating this one. Without the profit motive, everything falls apart. Then this guy comes up. He's like, well, here's a massive example with the healthcare crap of the exact opposite. And even PBD's like, kind of makes sense, actually. I've talked about that before. Who cares? And then this girl comes from a different angle, which is like, well, actually, like a lot of inventions, whatever creative crap. It's not because people are trying to make a lot of money. It's because they're actually passionate about something. All right, two pretty good cases so far. Let's see PBD's response to this lady right here.
Well, in this position,
what college did you go to?
USC.
You went to USC. What did you major in?
Sociology.
Sociology.
Where do you live?
Who's your hero?
Where do you live? What's your phone number? Hey, PBD.
As a professor. Who's the professor you look up to?
This doesn't seem like a topic that's related to capital.
He's doing sales stuff. Let me ask you this. Who's your favorite guy? Who's my favorite guy? Yeah, I'm trying to buy time. Try to buy a little time here. Keep you on the line. So you get more invested. Then I close the deal. Wait, you're not trying to sell me anything. Actually, I brought with me some of my Future Looks Bright hats. PBD, stop doing sales everywhere, man.
The reason why I ask this question is because somebody convinced you of that. Somebody convinced you that is the way that
So psychology and studies convinced me of this fact about the human mind.
Unfortunately, to your claim, results show that the greatest economical system
intrinsic
is
motivation predicts more creativity
that allows
and more
people to go above and beyond and
like
solve every single issue out there. An entrepreneur who gets up, who says,
what was your claim again, mister?
I'm going to incentive.
I do like, what was your claim again, mister? We need to bring back mister. What's going on with you, mister? Hey, mister. I don't think you know what you're talking about. Okay, so this is a fun part right here. Poor PBD.
Paul Bet-Davidson.
All these people giving him a hard time. I think this part he just kind of forgets. I think he just kind of forgets what he's talking about here. Here we go. Right.
If somebody is not utilizing their time properly and accordingly, of course the market's not going to pay you
Do you
more.
think that, like, they brought up single mothers earlier. Do you think that single mothers are sitting around playing Fortnite 15 hours a day?
Unfortunately, single mothers were manipulated on what happened.
Is that a yes or no?
Single mothers were manipulated by what Lyndon Johnson came out where they changed the benefits on giving single mothers the incentive to have kids on all the welfare program. That changed our system in a major way. The feminist movement got single mothers to believe they don't need men and they're going to do everything by themselves and they don't need a man to help them out. This division that's happened between us caused many people to be in the situation that they're
most
at.
Most households are 50-50.
Feminism was one of the worst things that happened in America because it pinned men against women.
Do you think that women are so...
People can be manipulated and brainwashed.
But they're not stupid enough to do that because the majority of people are splitting nearly towards 50-50.
There are so many people that bought into a philosophy that stole decades away from their lives. Decades away from their lives because they bought into an idea that didn't produce the results.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about capitalism. Is the best economical system that provides the best results for people.
But we can't just jump back and forth between claim to claim to claim.
Yes, he can.
So the claim.
Okay, there he goes again, my man PBD, if you ever watch like real debates, they're kind of boring, college debate. A lot of them are stupid, A lot of these are quote unquote real debates are stupid, but at least they're like You know, they got their little cards and they read a thing and they're like, here's my claim. And then the other person reads their thing and then they respond to each other. You know, it's like formal debate. And there are these like parameters that you stay within with the debate. Oh, you have to respond to the claim, you know, and then you have to go through each thing that I say and address it. You know, there's all these like constraints, it seems, to real debates. PBD is just like, PBD is like an outsider artist of debate. He's just like breaking every wall, breaking the fourth and fifth and sixth wall. He'll totally change what we're talking about for no reason. You know, this is not a real debate, I guess, quote unquote, whatever, who cares? So, you know, that's great. Go ahead, do that. Start talking about a totally different thing. Because I guess, you know, if you watch this, a lot of it's like, it's hard to follow what's even going on. But I guess what PBD is trying to say is, look, you know, people who are not wealthy, it's like they're not using their time very well. They need to use that time better and they'll be wealthier. And even if we gave PBD like all the credit on this one, we'll be like, okay, so you're saying, you know, people who don't have a lot of money just start a business the way PBD did. And there you go. This would be a disaster if like everybody took PBD's advice, because he ran, let's just say, a questionable company that made him a lot of money. If everybody was doing that, we would, I mean, this system would collapse. We would have no food or shelter or anything, transportation. It would most likely, allegedly, be people doing basically scams on each other, you know, entirely. So that's that part, but then this lady's like, okay, so you think people who don't have a lot of money, they're just misusing their time. What about like, you know, some single mother, she's taking care of a kid and then she's working a job. You know, all her time is filled. What about that? And PBD's answer is basically, oh, single mothers shouldn't exist. Okay. They do, though. No, they shouldn't. Next. The PBD goes, next. I just owned that one. Next.
We cannot all be like you.
When's the last time you read a business book? When's the last time you read a self-help book?
I don't need to answer that.
When's the last time you read a self-help book?
I wrote a self-help book. I'm a writer. I'm a creative.
Tell me what self-help book you read.
I'm not.
Give me one.
Easy, Patrick.
Give me one you read. Huh? Are you willing to take one recommendation?
No.
You're not.
Not for me.
Then I can't help you.
That's okay. I don't need your help. I didn't come here for your help. I came here to make
out.
Good.
Awesome.
Bye-bye. I like that part because it's like, oh my God, PBD cannot turn off sales mode. He cannot turn off phone sales mode. He's like, here's the deal. I got a recommendation for you, okay? Will you take my recommendation? Is that a yes? And this lady's like, no. Why would I? We're supposed to be doing a debate. And he's like, well, then I can't help you. Then I'm sorry, but I can't help you. And she's like, wait, well, why are you trying to give me help? We're supposed to be doing a debate. And then PB goes like this.
You're about to be value tamed. You're about to be value tamed.
But this is a part in this Jubilee where it starts taking a weird turn where I think PBD totally forgets why he's there. You know, that you're supposed to be making these like macroeconomic, you know, I don't know, historical, you know, I don't know, statistical arguments. And then he's just like, look, I'm a rich guy. I got advice for you as a rich guy. And they're like, what? Wait, what is this?
Yeah.
Would you be okay if I pay for a specialist for you to go see?
Yeah.
Would you take money from a capitalist to help you go see specialist?
I mean, yeah, sure. Why not?
I'm going to have you go see two. Do you live in California?
Yeah.
I'm going to have you go see two specialists. But would you also be open to seeing somebody else I choose as a psychologist that may...
No.
You're not.
No.
So you
choose as a psychologist. You're choosing who gets to determine what my mental health looks like. No.
Okay, then I wish you nothing but the best.
Yeah, so I think...
What's happening now?
All right, thanks for talking.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you know, I knew this thing was going to be wacky because it's my main man...
Paul Bet Davidson?
The king of all media, the king of all social media.
Paul Bet Davidson?
But it's like, what the hell is the stupid Jubilee called? One capitalist versus 20 anti-capitalists featuring...
Cut your meat.
Paul Bet Davidson?
So they're supposed to be debating like a macroeconomic crap, and somehow we get into, hey, can I pay for your medical expenses? Can I pay for some of your medical expenses and send you to a psychologist of my choosing? And this girl's like, that's weird.
Sure. How about we do this? How about I interview you and I give you a job? Would you move to Fort Lauderdale?
Ooh, man, that's Florida. Sure, why not?
Would you move to Fort Lauderdale?
Sure, why not?
How about you and I document this? After this, you come, I do an interview with you, and I give you a job. And let's see what you do 90 days later.
Okay, and I'll look up your company and all that kind of stuff, and I'll see it.
But you see what just happened?
Regardless,
watch what you just did.
Sure.
You just said you applied to 477 companies who's not gotten back to you.
Yeah.
A business owner who's hiring aggressively just made an offer to you.
A business owner by the name of
Paul Davidson,
who do like.
You said you're willing to move. Then you said, I'll look at it. You became selective.
I didn't say I'll look at it if you'd let me finish my sentence.
Go ahead. I want to hear it.
I would like to look into your company to see exactly what you guys do.
There's a lot of this kind of stuff where it's just like, is it really a debate? This is just like a weird, just an odd interaction between odd individuals. That's what Jubilee is going for. Can we capture? This is what Jubilee would be like if it were a guy or something. Ooh, it's getting kind of weird. Oh, these people might yell at each other.
Are you guys gonna yell at each other?
Jubilee's like a little kid. Are you guys gonna yell at each other? Jubilee just wants people to yell / be weird to each other, regardless of if it makes any sense or if anybody learns anything from it. But this part is just a weird human interaction, I would say. It kind of proves the opposite of
Paul Davidson.
Point, if it proves anything. Because this is some guy here, I don't know what this guy's deal is, But he's like, yeah, I'm a working guy. He works in his shipping or some crap. Who cares? And he's like, it's very difficult to find a job that pays enough. I've been trying to find something. It's very difficult to find something. And then Patrick Bet-David's like, how about you do an interview with me and you come work for me? And then the guy's like, well, I'll check out your company. How about that? And then Patrick Bet-David's like, see? I guess he's trying to prove that, people actually don't want to work. They're just a bunch of lazy perverts. They're a bunch of lazy
toilets.
But he's kind of proving the opposite here, because all these people get up and they're like, yeah, it's kind of weird that we still live in a human society or whatever, where people have to desperately take jobs. Maybe they're not reaching their full potential that way, yada, yada. And here's PBD, where he's just like, don't even look into my company. Just say yes, because you're desperate enough to just say yes, not even knowing what the hell you're getting into. That's kind of the opposite point, PB.
We started the insurance company. We grew it, helping middle-income families who didn't have another opportunity to create wealth for themselves. I just came back from our event in Vegas.
Hold on, I'm not sure that's correct, though.
Whoa, it is, though.
Shut up, man. It's not correct, though, because what do you make more money from?
I just came back from, we don't make more money from recruiting.
I read the Daily Beast article that did that. I also watched CoffeeZilla's debate with you, where you pulled up receipts that the majority of the employees of your company don't make any money.
Here's a question for you. For you. Bring up CoffeeZilla.
Yeah.
Daily Beast is a different story. Go to CoffeeZilla.
Sure, of course.
Do you think if I was worried about my business model, I would go on CoffeeZilla? What do you think?
This is a funny part right here. This is probably good that this guy tried to call out PBD. He tried to call out
Paul Davidson.
Because people should know about these kind of business. This guy does kind of get it mixed up. I think he thinks Paul Bet-Davidson still runs this business. I think he sold the business. But anyway, who cares? That's not important. But what's kind of funny is that throughout this whole 1 hour, 43-minute thing, PBD keeps hitting these two notes. He keeps hitting a couple notes. And one of the notes is numbers don't lie. Okay, I'm just looking at the numbers on all the crap that I'm talking about.
The raw facts.
He says that kind of thing over and over again. And he's also telling these people, hey, look, you can do anything. Anything that's, if anything's going wrong, if there's any problems in your life, that's your fault and you got to fix it and you can do it. Or, maybe a more weird version of that where he's like, hey, read a book that I probably wrote. But Paul Bet-Davidson is probably the worst person to listen to on either of those things, because he did make a lot of money from what I think should be illegal. What I believe should be illegal, which is one of these multi-level marketing things. There's been books written about this multi-level marketing crap. It should be illegal. Let's face it, man, it should be illegal. It's a scam. So, when Paul Bet-Davidson is like, hey, look, I'm just looking at the numbers here, man. Numbers don't lie. Here's what I believe in this debate about making money or economics and all this. We have facts and data. But you do not want to look at the facts and data of a multi-level marketing company, especially the one from what I've read extensively about PBD's company. You would not want to look at the numbers on that, because what they do with these multi-level marketing companies is they say, hey, they'll get people in some like hotel ballroom or so, some Marriott ballroom or something. They're like, hey, you can make
$4 bajillion
by selling whatever crap insurance or whatever. But really, they're just doing this kind of scheme. It's basically a pyramid scheme where you're trying to recruit people, and then they're trying to recruit more people, and then you get usually fees, sign up fees, and then you look at the numbers on these companies and they're like, 99 or some crazy number, 97, 98% of people working at these companies make less than minimum wage. So yeah, we do not want to look at numbers, PBD. And then the other part of like, hey, look, you can do it. Any problem you're having, that's your own fault. I'll give you a self-help book to fix it. He's also not the person you want to be listening to about that, because that's kind of what they say in MLM crap. Hey, look, it's all up to you. Make $1 million. Look, 98% of people do not do that. So the whole thing's kind of funny. He's not the best guy to go to for advice, motivation. He's stuck in permanent sales mode, this guy. But that makes that earlier girl's point even more interesting, where she's like, yeah, look, most people have some kind of passion that they want to follow, and then they can contribute to the world by really following that passion, That's how great inventions happen. That's how, breakthroughs in art and science and all this happen. I wonder what PBD would be doing if he wasn't stuck in permanent MLM phone sales mode. Oh, whoa, who the hell is this? Oh, I know this guy. This is Dave Ramsey right here. This is Dave Ramsey right here. Hey, Dave Ramsey. Okay, he came up, suggested, when I was looking at this PBD MLM stuff. Let's see what he's got to say about this crap.
Federal Trade Commission says that 99% of the people that join an MLM lose money. That's a staggering statistic. It's hard to actually believe. I'm not sure I do believe it.
Okay.
The AARP did a different...
Okay, there we go. There's Dave. Even Dave, he's a pretty scammy guy. Even he's doing a little bit of this. With that eyeball. Even he's like, hey, yeah, it's a scam. Okay, what else is PBD up to on this wacky thing? Here we go.
Paul Bet Davidson.
Yeah, the floor is yours. Go ahead. Whoa, 560,000 views on this. In under a day. Oh my God. Okay, great.
My final claim is the U.S. is more socialist than capitalist today. If you hate the system, you're anti-socialist.
Okay, what does that mean?
Hello.
You're back at it again.
That things
How
like food
old were
and
you the
shelter
first time you thought you wanted to be a communist? How old were you the first time?
Is that a response to any
really
of the
curious.
statistics?
No, because the statistics are against you.
The statistics.
It's never worked. There's so many Cubans that moved to Miami. They love their...
Oh, PBD's getting upset about some statistics. What was the one from earlier?
Federal Trade Commission says that 99% of the people that join an MLM lose money.
Okay, there we go. Another Jubilee. Another making fun of a Jubilee, and I know I'm going to get demonetized or whatever the hell for this because Jubilee does not know how fair use works. Well, guys, it's one of them days. I don't know what the hell that means. What is it? That's Monday. Monday, the day in which we
cut your meat.
I hope all of you are cutting your meat out there, whatever that means. Oh, actually, the day that I'm uploading this, it's Labor Day. Labor Day is a day in which we...
Praise God. God bless you.
So...
God bless you.
Hope you guys have a good one. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye.
Oh, wow. What an episode there. A lot of interesting content to take a look at there. You know what? I'm gonna be honest, I didn't watch it, but what I will say, and this I can speak to, please subscribe on Patreon. You're missing episodes every single week. That is, wow, that's shocking. That's shocking information that I just barfed when I said it. Don't miss episodes every week. How do we do that? Subscribe on Patreon if you want to. You do what you do, okay? But if you do want to get all those episodes you're missing, click the link in the description. It says something of a Patreon or something, and I'll see you there. Ooh, wait, it's for as little as $2 per month. Wow. No way, man. That's crazy. But check that out, and I'll see you there. Bye-bye.